Hi there. Good to see you. Now, sit on down. Got yourself a snack? Okay, go get a snack really quick. Get a snack. Get yourself something to drink. If you smoke weed, go ahead and light up. Get your bong, get your pipe. Roll up your blunt or whatever. Go ahead. Um, just chill out for a second. Just do what you need to do because for the next hour and a half to 2 hours, we're gonna have a little bit of a conversation. It's so good to see you here, and it's good to see you with us here today. My name is James Fauntleroy, and you're watching the JB Show live on the Revolutionary Blackout Network. It's good to see you here today. Nice to have you. I want to give you all a warm welcome, and just to let you guys know that the JB Show is live every single Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, just like right now. You can also catch me at the RBN Roundtable every Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Just to let you guys know, I host my own channel called the JB Font Channel during the week on Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please make sure to give the stream a thumbs up if you're feeling feisty. And if you are new to the channel, please do not forget to subscribe and click the bell icon so that you're notified whenever we go live, because you know that the Twitter algorithm, well, they too, but the algorithm, y'all know what I'm talking about, doesn't like us. I want to say hello to everybody that's in the chat today. All right. First off, I'm going to start off with Rockfin because I want to make sure I do not forget them. Indy Left is in the chat. By the way, just to let you guys know, please make sure to subscribe to Indy Left News. They're also on Twitter, but you also can subscribe to their newsletters so that you are notified. Also, they have the Indie News Network, so make sure you subscribe there. They are friends to RBN, and so please make sure that you're subscribed there as well. And Indie Left always puts out newsletters and a compilation of different independent left media shows, articles, and what have you, and content. And so make sure that you're subscribed to them so that you're always getting that daily dose of whatever we put out, those of us in this independent left media space. Okay. Indie Left News on Rockfin says hashtag justice for Patrick Lyoya. And he also continues to says Reef did a breakdown of how many ways the cop did not use any policing techniques and completely mishandled the stop. We are going to cover it on INN News this week. Thanks for talking about it. Thank you for talking about it as well, Indie Left. So good to see you all in the chat on Rockfin. And I also want to say hello to everybody in the chat that's on the other different streaming platforms. If you're on Facebook watching us, if you're on Twitch watching us, or YouTube, it's so good to see you. A Dingo Ate Me Baby says, hi, fam. Good to see you. Bovice says, let's see if YouTube allows this. YouTube is particularly not fond of us talking about the country that starts with the letter U and that rhymes with propane. So yeah, they don't want us talking about that. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about that country. I'm talking about a different one. So we should be all good. Quaker Anarchist, so good to see you here in the chat today. All right, it's here. All is well with the world whenever I see your name in the chat. All right, so Eric Gray, so good to see. No, I'm not the goat. Well, I mean, if you want to call me a goat, like back goat, okay, fine. But the other kind of goat, no. I'm just a personality. I'm just a poor schlub in front of your screen right now. That's all I am. But I appreciate the compliment. Thank you so very much. Yes, my dear. So good to hear from you. Okay. Who else is in here? CBC voters, good to see you. It is nice to have you in here. Panquake as always. All right. Um, Nitram Case, good to see you in here as well. Welcome. Welcome to the show as well. Isaiah, nice to have you. Good to see you also in the chat. All right. Fellow RBN member and homie of homies, Savvy Sabs is inside the chat. She's in the building. So good to see you, as well as Savvy Sav. So good to see you as well. Hearts out to all y'all. Hayward, so good to see you. Greetings from Columbia, South Carolina. Welcome. All right. It's good to see people from Columbia, South Carolina. Go ahead and just sit on down and enjoy yourself. Cat Terrell, nice to have you in here as well. Sweary Fairy, nice to see you in here too. Good to have you. Willem, it's good to have you. The Algos Rhythm, yes, one thing we definitely have here is we got some rhythm. All right. Harsh Malarkey, it's good to see you. Oh, thank you so much. That really appreciate that. That's very humbling, and we're very grateful that you feel that way. And we're going to try to keep giving hope as much as we possibly can. Right? Okay. So um, it's very sunny outside. I'm in Florida, so it's actually a couple clouds, but nothing much. Just a lot of sun. So that's the way it is. Either that or my disposition is only sunny because I got a little tea. Tastes good. Lots of caffeine. So it's so good to see every single person in here in the chat on all the different platforms that are watching us here today. This is going to be kind of a heavy episode. Part of the reason why is because um, there's a lot going on in the world. There's a country where not too many people are talking about. Okay. But those mainly on independent left media spaces, we're talking about it. But as far as the corporate media, they are not. And so, therefore, we feel that we have a sense of duty to talk about these other countries that typically be a little less darker than porcelain. So we have to talk about those countries because the thing is that other people aren't talking about it. And uh, injustice somewhere is injustice everywhere. So we have to talk about it, right? And also, we're going to be talking about how another black man was slain, was murdered by a police officer. So we have to talk about that. Because the thing is that and a lot of times we're going to talk about it from a black left perspective because a lot of times it's always talked about from either a neoliberal perspective or a conservative perspective. And the thing is that we have been dealing with these tragedies from a neoliberal and a conservative perspective for generations now, and yet nothing has changed. So therefore, I think it's time we go in a completely different direction. So this is one of the reasons why we're doing it this way. And then also, I'm going to be talking about something just to give us a little bit more education as far as worker co-ops. We're going to be talking about that a little bit. Um, Former RBM member and friend to the show, Kamali, actually talks about this a lot. Shout out to you, Kamali. Love you, bro. Um, and so I want to talk about this just a little bit because I would like to see us support these types of businesses a little bit more. And if we can start these types of businesses, then we can be on our way just a little bit. So I just want to, do that a little bit. So thank you very much, Willem. Wait, what did Isaiah say? If you ain't gay after this, baby, I don't know what to tell you. You didn't understand the assignment. I don't. I guess I don't understand the assignment, but I don't know exactly what you mean by that. But okay, let me see. You- listening to Groove Armada in the background. I should know who that is. I don't know exactly who that is. Yeah. Thank you so much. Oh, Nick, my other homie from RBN is in the chat. So good to see you too, bro. All right. All right. All right. So, by the way, also just like Sabby, look, Sabby Sabs she is the grand marshal here. When she says hit the like button, you hit the like button. So go ahead and do it. All right. So, let's get started with our first story. Whoosah, whoosah. Yemen is a country in the Middle East that right now is going through. To say it's an atrocity, to say it's a catastrophe, I feel like it's an understatement to say what's going on in Yemen right now. The country of Yemen is under attack. There's a proxy war going on, really with the United States, but it's being led by Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is being, is a country that has a very authoritarian regime led by MBS, also named Mohammed bin Salman. He is the prince there. Um, he's a Saudi royal prince, and they are conducting a war basically against the country, and it subject the country to uh, bombings uh, and massacres against people, causing starving and death throughout the entire country. And they are using the weapons that were built here in the United States and that were sold by the United States to the Saudi government. And it's basically US bombs that are dropping on Yemeni people. Am I lying? Am I saying something that's untrue? Absolutely not. Here's the receipts. Okay. The receipts are going to be quite troubling, but here they are. This is from Al Jazeera. Biden administration, this is back in November, Biden administration approved $650 million weapons sale to Saudi Arabia. Subheading says Pentagon says enabling kingdom to buy US made air to air missiles will improve the security of a friendly country. They're not friendly, by the way, just to let you guys know, because people like me would honestly be murdered if they knew that I existed in that country, because they're just horrible dictators. Okay, so the article starts off. It says the United States has approved a $650 million sale of air-to-air missiles to Saudi Arabia. The Pentagon announced in what would be the Biden administration's first weapons deal with the Gulf Kingdom. In a statement on Thursday, the Pentagon said that the U.S. State Department approved the sale to help Rydia counter current and future threats. The Pentagon says that this proposed sale will support U.S. foreign policy and national security of the United States by helping improve security of a friendly country that continues to be an important force for political and economic progress in the Middle East. Just because it is a force for political and quote unquote economic progress doesn't necessarily mean it's actually a good thing, because it could be terrible politics that basically subjects people to oppression and economic progress. For whom? For whom? Not for us. Not for the Yemeni people, not for any average person, but for the super rich. But yeah, it's coded in language. It continues. It's added that the Massachusetts-based firm Raytheon would be the principal contractor for the sale of AIM 120C7C8 advanced medium range air-to-air missiles, also known as AMRAAM, and related equipment. So this is what's going on. And then they're saying, oh, it's not that bad because we're not We're not engaging on the ground. We're just engaging in the air. Like, that's any better? You're literally bombing people. Here's the crazy part. Because the president of the United States is the commander in chief, he has full unilateral control of the United States military. And it says here this sale does not require congressional approval, but lawmakers can block the deal by passing a disapproval bill in the Senate and House of Representatives. I have not heard anything about this as of late, as far as them blocking anything. I know Bernie tried to do it for for weapons going up against Palestinians, if I remember correctly. Was it Palestinians? I think my memory might be slipping, but he did try to block it, but then he let it go. Um, so it also continues. The missile sale follows the U.S. approval of $500 million helicopter maintenance deal for the kingdom. Saudi Arabia critics were quick to slam the deal on Thursday. We're literally giving weapons to a country that is harming and persecuting people. What does that sound like again? What other country are just the United States supplying weapons to that has some very unsavory Nazis in it that are trying to contribute to hurting other people? Anyway, but yeah, that's what the United States is doing with Saudi Arabia. And what's going on right now, it is just horrific. So let's do this. Let me share my screen again. Hold on. I went out of order. Let me go here. Let's get some facts in here as well. All right. Share my screen. Need that. Okay. Shout out to Winslow 19 Don on Twitter. That Saudi Arabia has dropped more than 3 million US made cluster bombs in Yemen since 2015. These weapons are banned under international law, whereas the global outrage over 7 years of US UK sponsored war crimes. 3 million bombs. 3 million. People want to talk about people aren't paying attention. Don't look away. Don't look away. This is the horrors of war. This is what it is. Your many children starving to death. This is what it is. And unfortunately, we live in the West, and the West does not give a shit about brown and black people. Unfortunately, this is the reality. While they starve and are massacred to death. That's somebody's baby. That's somebody's child. That's somebody's niece. That's somebody's nephew. Or I don't know if they're I don't know if they're their gender, but that's somebody's kid. And yet, crickets, crickets. what's going on. While everybody's at Coachella, this is going on. 20 million people are starving to death in Yemen. Kids are being murdered. The UN says it is the greatest humanitarian crisis in history, but you won't see any celebs raising funds for it because it's not paying as well as the country that starts with a U and that rhymes with butane. When will representatives of Yemen be featured in the Grammys? When are they going to make an appearance at the Oscars? Hmm? A Tony Award winning performance for them? Anybody? Anyone? You mean to tell me that you have the worst humanitarian crisis ever in this world? And you mean to tell me that this doesn't get much attention? No wonder why they don't give a shit about us black people here in the United States. Don't look away. This is the truth. This is what's going on. This is what's going on. God knows if he has any family left. Who knows? What about this child? Who knows if this child has any family left? What do you say to them? And then on top of it, you have police wanting to bash the heads of anti-war protesters here in the United States because we know about what's going on and we tried to stop it. And yet you have pigs in uniforms that decide that they want to arrest those of us who are maybe protesting largely peacefully because we hate to see this happen. And when we exercise our rights to protest against this, then guess what? They want to bash our heads in it and send us to jail. 377,000 Yemenis have lost their lives in the Saudi Arabian-led intervention in Yemen since 2015. So where are all the Yemen flags? I see a lot of blue and yellow flags, but I do not see any red, white, and black ones. Except for some few people on the left. This is what's been going on. Are people really paying attention? Oh, but it's wrong kind of people, right? Wrong kind of people. This dude's younger than me. I cannot imagine. Being in his position. Not just the death of his loved ones, but the death of friends, neighbors, even people you dislike. Just the death of them. No more. Your home, the places that you frequent, the places that you grew up in your childhood, gone. Like, are we really taking this in? emotionally of what we are subjecting our fellow humans to. Are we really taking it in? Why? Why in the hell isn't Clinton, Bush, Obama, Trump, and Biden, why aren't they in handcuffs right now? Why aren't they in orange jumpsuits being tried for crimes against humanity? Why aren't they? People need to know, and people need to have an outrage about what's going on. And the sad part about this is just a microcosm of what's really going on. For instance, how many people are talking about what's going on in Palestine against the Palestinian people, or about the people who are in Somalia? What's going on in Congo? This is ridiculous. And for this is one of the reasons why this needs to be addressed. You can't sit here and tell me that we just got to pray for the country that has a flag that's yellow and blue, and that's the only atrocity that's going on in the world that matters. I'm not saying that that country, what they're going through doesn't matter. They do matter. But just like what we said with Black lives matter too. These wars matter too. And yet they don't get any attention. None. Like Sabby said, where's the fundraiser for Yemen? Where is the number that you can text so that you can, you know, be sent to a link to fundraise for Yemen? Where's that being sent throughout the United States? I get a text message from the company on my phone. Next thing you know, they're saying, oh, all messages and calls to this country that starts with a U, yeah, guess what? Then all calls are absolutely free. What about to Yemen? What about to Saudi Arabia? What about to Pakistan? What about there? What about to Syria? What about to Palestine? I no, look, for real. Hold up. Let me show y'all. No lie. Hold up. Wait a minute. Yep. Oh, let me enlarge this real quick. Enlarge it right quick. Can y'all? Ooh. Can focus all calls to and from Hungary, Poland, Romania, Slovakia, and the country with a U. Yep, and it helped during these troubling times. Yeah, all European countries, by the way. Not one Middle Eastern, not one African, not one Asian. Nope. Talk about Yemen. Talk about Palestine. Talk about Syria. Talk about what's going on in Congo, or talk about what's going on in Somalia. Talk about what's going on in these countries. Talk about it. Because the corporate media, they don't care. They don't give a shit. But you're watching, so it's obvious that you do give a shit. So talk about them. When people start talking about the country that starts with a U, when they start talking about the country that rhymes with Romaine, bring up these other countries too. Spread awareness. Spread the outrage. Let people know. And let people know what imperialism and colonialism is doing. Because I can guarantee you this. They're not going to get it from any other source. You be that source. You know what? And you have a very good point. They do not have blue eyes and yellow hair. They are subhuman. You know what? Let's normalize seeing people with kinky hair and brown skin as human. Let's start talking about it more. Let's start recognizing the humanity of people who are a few shades darker than all-purpose flour. Let's do that. Because the thing is that they have to matter as well. Their lives are not worth less. Thank you. Ethiopia too. Yeah. It's just it's just asinine. Craig Kid, so good to see you in the chat today. Craig Kid says the worthy victims thing is real, but it's also because U.S. is responsible for all other atrocities, so we don't want to talk about them, even though we are responsible here, the country that starts with an R. I can't say the names of these countries. The reason why I can't is because YouTube is like, yeah, no, you guys can't talk about it. If not, we're gonna give your channel a strike. I can't even mention the names of them. Because if I do, then guess what? Or anything related to them, because guess what? This show will get taken down. So I have to be responsible and make sure I just don't mention it because they're afraid of disinformation, even though all the information we've been putting out has been accurate. Even when corporate media has been inaccurate and saying that we were saying lies, and then next thing you know, a couple months later, then it's like, oh well, yeah, you guys were right, but we're not really going to admit it. We're just going to put it out, the information out there. That's what happens. Yeah. Thank you, Hayward. Yeah. That's a good question, Lawrence. More problematic, why are journalists not doing their job and reporting on Yemen? Perform your function. Yes. Yes. but because they're paid not to. Or if they are there, it's a very short segment because the atrocities are being committed by an ally. So therefore, it is not news. Let it be something that's happening by a country that the United States does not consider an ally, then it's all over the news. Wasn't it a factoid that the United States is allies with I think is 73% of the world's dictatorships? Here's your sign. So yeah, I wanted to start off the show with giving some attention to Yemen because it absolutely is imperative that we give some attention to this atrocity that's happening right now. And I don't know, maybe next week I'll do I might do I can either do Palestine or I can do I can probably do Ethiopia or a different country, but we got to talk about it. And it is absolutely doesn't make any sense as to why we shouldn't. And I am glad that quite a few channels, and the left independent media space are covering this. Let's cover it just a little bit more though. Just a little bit more. I know the country with the blue and yellow flag, they get a little bit of play, but let's go for some other countries because I know that blue and yellow flag country, it's more of a more trendy and sexy topic for right now because a lot of liberals and even conservatives are all up into it. But let's spread some awareness out there, right? Because there are other humans that are going through atrocities too that need to be given attention to. Just a thought. I love y'all. Oh shit, that was hard. Yes, Craig. Yes. Yeah, unfortunately. But you can just go to our Patreon if you like to, give a donate button. Not a donate button. What am I talking about? If you just want to donate there, then it's much appreciated. But yeah, right now we're not monetized right now. Um, I know people who think it's not official news until it comes from an official leading news organization. You know what the problem with that is? These official leading news organizations are all funded by very, very wealthy people that have agendas. And because of that, they don't get as much play. It should, but they don't. Gary says the Saudis pay good money to keep Yemen out of the news. Yeah. Americans don't care about Yemen. They rather care about Kim Kardashian and Pete Davidson's last date. You know what's sad? If Americans weren't so overworked and underpaid, and they actually had time to consider some of these things, at least more, then they probably would. But they're so tired, and their brains are so full of negative BS that a lot of these companies and a lot of what this country throws at them, that they actually watch this type of stuff just to escape. So this is why they know about Kim Kardashian and Pete Davidson going on a date. This is why they know, because it's escapism for them. Because all this other negative information that people like me and you are more privy to, because we actually look at this stuff, for them it's just like, I just can't take it. I just need to escape. And the thing is that I can't necessarily blame them for wanting to escape. That's the sad part. They literally, people are so exhausted that even hearing news like this, it's like, I just can't do it. That's the part that sucks. And it's not necessarily apathy. It's more just exhaustion, emotional and mental exhaustion, because the system that we live in pushes that emotional and mental exhaustion to the extreme, to the point where people are literally on a razor's edge and they absolutely have no mental and emotional bandwidth to hear about news that's going on in Palestine or in Yemen or in Ethiopia or Somalia or in Syria. They don't have the bandwidth to do it, because the system, this capitalistic system, saps all that out of them. But for those who may have that tiny little bit of extra bandwidth, hopefully they're able to catch streams like this. Woo! Woosah. Woosah. So, but thank you so much for that point, Gary. I definitely do appreciate what you're saying there. Yeah. So, uh, just a couple of people in the chat. Let me see. Lauren says, I'm old enough to remember when the news media was applauded for revealing to America the horrors of Vietnam. The media played a key role in bringing out the involvement in Nam to an end. And this is why they're not doing it anymore, because the United States government saw that they did that and they didn't like it. And the military industrial complex saw that and they didn't like it, because that means it ruined their gravy train. And so they said, you know what? The only way that we can stop the media from influencing the people into taking the anti war position is by taking over the media so they don't know about it. And so, guess what? Now the corporate media is in league with the military industrial complex. So they don't really cover things like this as much. So then the sense of outrage goes down, and people are more blinded by the latest trends or just wanting to escape. That's what happens. So that's the end of that segment. Thank you so much. We're going to move on to our next story. This is going to be also a tough one, but we got to talk about it. Um, oh boy. All right. Let me close some of these things out really quick. Oh, let me catch Rockfin, but just a question. Okay. I'm just checking just to make sure that I didn't miss anything on Rockfin. All right. So, um, just making sure I have the article that I need to. Okay, no, not that. All right, I'll just do that. I'll do this article first. Do you know who Patrick Lyoya is? Patrick Lyoya was murdered by a police officer. This is from the Associated Press. It says family seeks charges, offers idea, and Patrick Lyoya's death. This happened in Grand Rapids, Michigan. It says Patrick Lyoya, Peter Lyoya, took his 6 children from Congo in 2014 to escape violence. Now he fears he brought them to the United States to die. A Michigan police officer fatally shot his eldest son, 26-year-old Patrick, in the head this month following the traffic stop in Grand Rapids. Video released Wednesday shows a brief foot chase and a struggle over the white officer's taser before he shoots Patrick Lyoya in the head as the black man is face down on the ground. I saw the video. I'm not showing it here. He's an immigrant from Congo. The way police operate in Congo is probably different than the police operate here in the United States. He got pulled over. He stepped outside the car like, what is wrong? What did I do? What's the problem? Police officers was like, get back inside the car. And he's standing there out there like, what is wrong? And he's like, get inside the car. And then he asked him, do you have your license? And he's like, yes. He opens the door, talks to whoever's in the passenger seat, and then he closes the door back. And then he starts to walk away from the police officer. He's unarmed, by the way. He walks away from the police officer. And as he's walking away from the police officer puts his hands on him and tries to stop him. He's not running, he's walking. And so then a tussle starts, a struggle starts. And so then he runs away from the police officer. And the police officer grabs their taser and pulls out their taser. Patrick sees the taser that he's about to shoot him with, and Patrick tries to take the taser away from him. Mind you, Patrick is unarmed. As he tries to take the taser away, they both fall to the ground. As they're falling to the ground and he's face down, the police officer reaches for his firearm, points it at Patrick's head, and shoots him in the head. Now, after looking at the video, it is clear that the police officer escalated the situation. He was unarmed. You can hear his accent very clearly in the video. And yet, they do not want to release the officer's name or identity unless he's been charged. Here's the sad part. Peter Lyoya said Thursday that he came to the United States to get away from prolonged civil unrest, which is several rebel groups have vied for control of the territories in mineral-rich eastern Congo. He said he had 2 young children of his own and lived in Grand Rapids and visited Lansing on weekends and would spend money on his siblings, his father said. So they were literally escaping violence, and they came to this country. And they still experienced violence and racism. They came here for a better life. And instead, he ended up losing his life. Let's go to the next article. This is from Common Dreams. Says Patrick Liola's family demands charges against officer who killed him. The Lyoya family expressed shock that their son was killed in the U.S. 8 years after they sought asylum from violence in Congo. This is from Julia Connolly. I'm not going to cover the entire article because I want her to get the credit for and their web traffic for this article. But by the way, all this happened on April 4th, about 13 days ago, a little over 2 weeks ago. Says the family of Patrick Lyoya, the 26-year-old black man who was fatally shot by a police officer in Grand Rapids, Michigan, on April 4th, expressed shock that their son was killed in the United States at a press conference on Thursday as they called for the officer to face prosecution. The Lyoya family came to the United States from Congo in 2014 to escape violence, according to the Washington Post. There we were, we were in an area that was not safe and there was war. And I thought I had come to a safe land, safe place. When his family arrived, he told them that you are safe. And then he continues, it seems like we are in danger even when we come here. They were escaping violence and they came here and they still got it. Demonstrators were marching in the city and they were saying signs like name killer cops, and Grand Rapids Police Department is protecting a murderer. Continues by saying video recordings from the officer's body camera, his vehicle, and nearby security camera or witness cell phone were released this week and showed that Lyoya, father of two, was killed after the police officer stopped him and allegedly because his license plate didn't match the vehicle he was driving. The link is also in the description to this article so you guys can read it further. What now? We've covered many people being shot and killed on RBN throughout the last year since our inception. And each time, the anger doesn't subside, the sadness doesn't subside. It stays the exact same every single time. And we talk about this over and over and over because we want to keep the sense of outrage going so that it will contribute to this ending. And yet, people will make excuses. People will say, well, what was he doing? Well, and then next thing you know, guess what? They're going to start digging into Patrick Lyoya's history and say, oh, well, he was no angel. They're going to try to assassinate his character in favor of the murderer. Fuck it, I'm just gonna say it. If you're for funding the police, then you are against public safety. Because they counter public safety all the time. That's what they do. They are becoming the antithesis of public safety. Because guess what? I don't feel safe around them. A lot of people who look like me don't feel safe around them. Because and is that unwarranted? No, we have been seeing this history for decades and decades and decades. Because it is clear that we aren't safe. So, in order for us to have a more safer public, then that means we need to defund them on the road to abolition. This is not serving and protecting the public. This is serving and protecting capital. That's all it basically is. We're literally trying to survive. Patrick and his family literally came as refugees to escape violence. And once again, people here see this and automatically think that you are dangerous. I'm going to share my screen really quick. This is why 10 for Demands for Justice is such a great resource. What does it say? It says 10 Demands for Justice offers a roadmap for defunding and then the full abolition of police and prisons, beginning with immediate actions to end police violence as well as racism and classism in policing, prosecution, and sentencing. Because this violence is against our public safety. It's not for our public safety. Because who is that police officer saving the public from? He was an unarmed man, and you pulled him over for a traffic stop. Ten for Justice is a very good resource, people. I suggest that you guys share it on your social media with people. I don't care if they disagree with it. At least you're planting that seed. You're tired of seeing these extrajudicial killings that happen day in and day out within this country. I know some people do not agree with the defund the police slogan, but there are times where I just say, the hell with it, keep it. Don't water it down. Mm-mm. Because that means that the conversation keeps going. And then people can explain to them that it means a divestment from police and a reinvestment into communities, particularly poor and disenfranchised communities. That's one of the reasons why. Keep it spicy. Keep the people wondering, like, what does it really mean? So then people like us, people like you in the chat, people like you who are watching at home, who know about it, who can explain it clearly, or can point people to websites like 10 for Justice, you can explain it and they can get the accurate information. Because we all know that the liberals and Democrats and Republicans, they aren't going to explain it because they don't want it to happen. They don't explain it correctly because they don't know about it, because they don't really care to know about it, because they're more interested in preserving capital than they are preserving lives. So this is one of the reasons why I put the link in the chat for you guys. And I want to give a special shout out to the people who have created the 10 demands. People like Awkward and Zoya and Nick and others. I'm sorry, I'm blanking on your name, but actually, let me go here just to make sure. On Awkward, Cheyenne, Jen, Nick, Patrona, and Zoya, thank you all for helping create this website, this informative resource for people. So make sure to share it, everybody, because there are too many people who are unaware. I'm going to the chat. Yeah, Gipper said this is the second time I'm hearing stories of a family coming here and regretting it. If you're watching and if you're in a particularly an African country and you're thinking about coming here to the United States, especially if you're trying to escape violence, I don't know if it'd be that much better for you here. I just don't. You might be better off going to, I don't know, you might be better off going to a different country. If you're going to go to a Western country, you might be better off going to, I don't know, maybe one of the Scandinavian countries, maybe. Maybe. I mean, they're still capitalist and imperialist, but your chances of survival may be higher there. You probably have the best, well, some of the best results in places like Vietnam or Cuba. Probably may have the best results there, but as far as Cuba's going, is under extreme embargo from the United States. So, you know, my heart just goes out to the family, man. Like, you went through all that and you tried to just have a better life. And next thing you know, you're the child of your grandchildren. I mean, sorry, the parent, the father of your grandchildren, your child murdered. over a traffic stop. This is why we talk about these things, because it doesn't get brought up much. And then people want to talk about, oh, well, we just got to fund the police more. Do you know how many resources they have? The police have enough resources that they are the third largest military force in the world. Money is not their issue. They are part of a sick and twisted system that needs to be demolished, and we need to rethink public safety. So, yeah, that was a heavy story. Yeah. Look, if we funded schools the way we funded police, oh my gosh. Dear Lord. Can you say free public college for all? Can you say teachers making a thriving wage? Can you say kids in schools having all the best schools? If only, right? Priorities, right? So, yeah. So, I'm going to touch on one of the final stories that I wanted to talk about. And let me set myself up here. Do I have anything in here? All right. Because I talked about work on my channel yesterday. Which was a pretty good discussion. But what? I'm not even going to entertain that. I'm not even going to entertain that. Okay, so let's go to this. And this is going to be a little bit of a lighter topic. It's still important, but it's going to be a bit of a lighter topic. So we got those heavy topics out of the way. Shout out to Kamali for always talking about this topic. But I want to share this as well. So this is from Democracy at Work Institute. It says the benefits of worker cooperatives. What is a worker cooperative? Let me enlarge. JB, get it together, baby. All right, people. Let's go. All right. The benefits of worker cooperatives. It says worker cooperatives are values-driven businesses that put worker and community benefits at the core of their purpose. In contrast to traditional companies, workers at worker cooperatives participate in the profits, oversight, and often management of the organization using democratic practices. Workers own the majority of the equity of the business and control the voting shares. The model has proven to be an effective tool for creating and maintaining sustainable, dignified jobs, generating wealth, improving the quality of life of workers, and promoting community and local economic development, particularly for people who lack access to business ownership or even sustainable work options. So this basically is the gist of what a worker cooperative is. Now, it says, according to United for a Fair Economy, one of the main barriers to business ownership for people of color is access to startup capital. Worker cooperatives make business ownership more accessible. It says United States is facing unprecedented levels of inequality. We know that growing inequality is bad for families, for social cohesion, and ultimately for the economy itself. Lack of economic and social mobility undermines the promise of our democratic institutions. I'm going to repeat that same sentence again. Lack of, damn it, come on. Lack of economic and social mobility undermines the promise of our democratic institutions. Bringing more stakeholders into the share into in, bringing more stakeholders in to share the fruits of successful business can be a key to addressing inequality. By placing workers' needs before investors' profits, successful worker cooperatives democratize wealth rather than concentrating it. We always talk about the redistribution of wealth. Well, this is part of it. Through sharing risk, cooperatives make business ownership possible for entrepreneurs of all backgrounds. They build skills and participation in the workforce. Shared ownership can even be a means of preserving small businesses and saving good jobs when owners retire. Let's scroll down here. It says a recent report released by the Aspen Institute concluded that the upward mobility into the middle class remains a possibility for fewer and fewer lower income people, and the numbers are alarming. The top 10% used to earn one third of total income. It now takes in half. The average CEO earns 273 times more than the average worker, and the top 1% has a net worth of 288 times higher than that of the typical family, a record in the United States. So, some of the benefits: worker cooperatives build local wealth. At a worker cooperative, profits do not go to distant investors, but instead to directly to the workers. As a result, the money stays grounded in the local economy, building community wealth. With ownership in the hands of the workers who are usually living and spending locally, these companies stay connected and accountable to their communities. This is very interesting, and this is also very important. Recycling that money within the local community is actually deeply important. So, this is important for us to know, is that when workers are involved in owning the means of production and distribution, then guess what? Then that means that they reap the benefits of their surplus labor. And then what happens when they make the money from their surplus labor and they own part of that company? Guess what? They recycle it back in the community. Now, imagine this: if you're working at a worker co-op, right? You work in a democratized workplace. You're making great money because you are making money off of your surplus labor, right? And then you start going to a business. You start going to a local business. I don't know. Look, You go to, I don't know, your local barbershop, you go to your local beauty salon, you go to your local mom and pop shop, hardware store, whatever, right? Let's say, let's say, let's say you're a lady and you like to build stuff, right? You want to go to your local hardware store because you're a woman that likes to work with your hands, and you work for that worker cooperative. You're more likely to go to that hardware store because you like to work with your hands, right? Okay, so then guess what? You start spending money at that local business. Well, what if that local business, that hardware store, then they want to democratize, right? They start democratizing and then they become a co op. Guess what? Now you're spending money there, they're making more money, and then the workers are making more money, and then they start going to another business, they start spending more money there. And guess what? The local economy of that area grows. People are lifted up. They don't have to work paycheck to paycheck as much anymore. Yes, Craig. Yes, exactly. It's like the opposite of Walmart paying folks so little that they're forced to shop there also. Yes. Thank you. Yeah. Let me continue. Worker cooperatives create quality jobs. Workers have a meaningful role in business as they contribute to and benefit from the success of a company they co-own. Let's stop there. So, um, look, y'all, let me tell y'all something. How many of you have ever worked for a job and when it comes to the things at that workplace, how things are ran, you kind of don't really care that much. Like you don't own it, so it's just like, you don't treat it that well. It's just like, whatever. It's like as long as you don't get in trouble for it, it's like you can be more haphazard with things, with the materials, with things like that. But if you literally like own that, you're more likely to treat it with more dignity and respect because you're literally benefiting from that in a monetary and economic way. A lot of times, a lot of business owners will say the only person who really cares about the business is the business owner. The workers don't really care as much because they don't really own it. But what if all the workers owned it? How would service be if the workers actually owned it? Hypothetically, let's put it this way. You work at a grocery store. Oh, no, you know what? Bump that. You work at a restaurant, right? And you're a server. And as a server, of course, you're, you know, at my model of a restaurant, you guys would make your wage, you know, based on hourly. I don't think it should be on tips, but excuse me. But as the restaurant makes money, you make more, right? So, of course, because you own part of that restaurant, your service is actually going to go up. You're actually going to have more of a vested interest in the success. Because, yeah, you may be making hourly instead of tips like other restaurants, but the overall success of the restaurant also means that you still have success. So, you don't have to worry about customers tipping you well or things like that because you're making a living wage, but also you still have a vested interest in it doing well. Cooks, because I used to be a line cook. I know what it's like. If you own that restaurant, instead of operating under the guise that if you don't perform well enough, you may get fired, you operate under the guise of if I do better, then it will create more success. I used to have to try to get tickets out as fast as I can because I didn't want to get fired. But how much better would it feel if you worked and tried to get those tickets out as fast as you can because you want to help the company grow and get better? Because you own part of it. So those tickets are going out a little faster. You're dropping your food a little quicker. You're making your presentations on the plates a little bit better. It's basically instead of working and performing out of fear, you're working and performing out of hope. You're working and performing out of, just wanting to make sure that the quality is better. Not because of you're scared of being fired, but you actually are trying to make it more successful, not just for you, but also the people who you work with. I mean, that's basically the way I look at it. Let's continue. It says jobs that work at cooperatives tend to be longer term, which means a less turnover rate, offer extensive skills training, and provide better wages than small jobs at conventional companies. Furthermore, worker cooperatives offer opportunities for greater participation in management and governance decisions that help the business succeed. How many of you know, like, exactly what the manager has to go through as far as working? What if you know what the manager has to do? What if you shared duties and you had to manage one week, and people who were in management last week now they're doing the regular, because management could be a shared responsibility, right? Yeah. Sorry, I'm just reading the chat. I'm seeing people are saying very good points. By the way, let me continue. Worker cooperatives create meaningful change for underserved populations. The New York Times concludes, by placing workers' needs ahead of profits, they address the root causes of economic disparity. More than half of worker cooperatives in the United States today were designed to improve low wage jobs and build wealth in communities most directly affected by inequality, helping workers build skills and earning potential, household incomes, and assets. Interesting article. I also put this in the description as well. If you can find out, and this is one of the things I wanted to encourage, if you find out a worker cooperative in your area, or if you know of a worker cooperative, number one, if you can support them, please do so. Buy from them, use their services, support them. Number two, if you can, give them a little free advertising. Give them a little free advertising. Be like, look, this company is a worker cooperative. They do great work. Their quality is great. I love what they do. Hey, you guys might want to use this business instead of this big multinational corporation. Support them, help them to grow, help that model to grow so that people will see the benefits of them, so that they know what a democratized workplace looks like and see how it can be successful. Now, did you know that there are some worker cooperatives that people just don't know that are cooperatives? Let's go. This is from an article by Sarah Horowitz. 11 companies that you did not know were co-ops. Now, as far as the accuracy of this, as far as 2022, I don't know if this is still as accurate. I hope it still is, because especially since the pandemic. But these are companies that are co-ops that people just didn't know. I had no idea that Sunkist was a cooperative. It says a membership cooperative of more than 6,000 citrus growers in California and Arizona. It is the largest fresh fruit shipper in the United States and one of the largest landowners in California. I had no idea. Is that still true? I hope so. But yeah, apparently Sunkist is a cooperative. Next one, Ocean Spray. I heard about this one. This is why I started drinking more cran apple juice lately. From Ocean Spray. It says it's a cooperative of more than 700 family owned cranberry and grapefruit farms across the United States. It says they invented cran apple juice and craisins. True Value. Apparently, this is a co op too. I had no idea. It says a retailer owned cooperative of more than 5,000 member store owners. Each hardware store is independently owned and operated. The True Value members are supplied by 12 wholesale distribution centers around the country. I never shopped at True Value, by the way. I don't know of a True Value that's nearby in Orlando. I've never been there. But, oh, let me enlarge this. Sorry. Oh, no, 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 no. Okay. Oh, John Catherine the Great says, I thought it was cool that founder of Bob's Red Mill Natural Foods transferred his business to employees. Nice. Very nice. Thank you for that tidbit of information. Appreciate that. All right. So, REI, Recreational Equipment Incorporate. I don't know this company, but it says the outdoor gear retailer is the first nation's largest consumer cooperative with about 132 stores. It made Fortune magazine's 100 best companies to work for list every year since 1998. James Whitaker, the first American to climb Mount Everest, was REI's first full-time employee. So that's interesting too. How about Creamery? A dairy cooperative made of 1,200 family-owned farms in the Northeast. It was the first dairy to be designated as a B Corp. Land O'Lakes. Now, the one thing I did have a problem with Land O'Lakes was they had an indigenous person on um their labeling. They since got rid of that that label, and they still have it named Land O'Lakes. It says a Minnesota agricultural dairy cooperative made of 1,000 cooperative dairy farms and about 3,200 independent producers. It's one of the largest producers of butter and cheese in the United States. Now, I don't know if it's a cooperative like I think. I hope so, but I don't know. But I am very familiar with Land O'Lakes. Tillamook Country Creamery. Okay. I'm going to tell you all a little bit of something about Tillamook. I had their strawberry ice cream. Now, if anybody knows me, y'all know that my favorite ice cream, I can't have it that much because, being a dialysis patient. But y'all know, JB JB love some strawberry ice cream. That is my favorite flavor. Especially if you got some like warm, like pound cake and you can serve it over that. Oh Lord! Oh Lord! No, 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 baby! Stop it! Mm. Apparently, it is a co-op. It says another agricultural cooperative with about 110 Oregon dairy farms. The co-op stopped using artificial bovine hormones, growth hormones, since 2005, going up against agribiotech giant Monsanto. Hey, Tillamook, looking at you. If you guys are truly a cooperative, shoot, I may have to use my food stamps to go and get some of that strawberry ice cream. I'm trying to tell you. Now, this one surprised me. Like I'm still skeptical about this one. Best Western says one of the largest hotel chains in the world is a cooperative. I'm like, really? Well, a non-profit membership organization of more than 4,000 independently owned and operated hotels in 100 countries is one of the first hotel chains to offer guest internet access way back in 95. Is it really a cooperative? Anybody in the chat can tell me? Because I'm still kind of like, you know, mad scientist Mike says, it's a co-op of farmers, so these days that means capitalists. Maybe, just maybe. Oh, Gene Catherine the Great says the Wedge Organic Foods in Minneapolis is a consumer-owned co-op that anyone can join. They have nearly 15,000 member owners. Thank you so much for that information. Ah, okay. See, I knew I was skeptical about Best Western, so okay. Sunbeam Bread. There's a franchise owned by the Quality Bakers of America Cooperative. His member owners are some of the nation's leading bakery wholesalers, and they're licensed to use the popular Sunbeam logo. And apparently, wait, the Associated Press, really? It operates more than 240 bureaus worldwide in about 120 countries, that has a staff of 3,200. AP has 150 on Pulitzer Prizes, including 31 for. I don't know about that. Sometimes some you got to take these with a grain of salt. But I'm basically using this as an example. That if you know of worker cooperatives that are either near your area, or you know for any very large worker cooperatives, true worker cooperatives, then you know advertise it. You know, and let people know that they exist so that we can support them. Now, if there's any way that if you're an employee someplace, and if there's any way that you guys, especially if you're in a small business and you guys can get together and save your coins and then buy off the business from the owner and then operate it as a co-op after the owner leaves and sells the business to you so that you guys can restructure the business as a co-op, that's also an idea. So basically like buying it out from the owner. Because while I am while I am for unions, unions to me is the compromise. You know what I mean? Because now there's still like a battle between the owner and the workers. I want the workers to be the owner. See what I mean? So I'd rather that happen. So if you're in a small business, let's say you're in a a, a restaurant where it's a small privately owned restaurant, or you're in a small privately owned like store. Like say you're in a store, you're in sales, or you work in a grocery store that's privately owned or something like that, and you guys can come together, save up your money, and then buy it out from the owner. That's a possibility, maybe, if you guys can. That's very easier said than done, though, because a lot of times, a lot of companies they still don't pay people that a living wage. So to be able to save your coins in order to be able to do that is extremely difficult. But if you can, then I think it'd be worth it, you know, so that you guys can start a worker co-op in that way and democratize the workplace. Because I highly doubt that you're going to get a business owner that even owns a small business that's going to relinquish full control and then just democratize the entire workplace on their own, and then start making all the employees also co-owners. I don't see that happening. So I'm going to go to the chat really quick. How can I start a co-op? I'm not an expert on co-ops. I'm going to say that much. But are you on Twitter, Randy? If you are, if you can ask that same question and then tag me in a tweet, and I'll retweet it for you. I got a few followers, so and then people can give you tips on that. I may not have all the information, but I can try to help you get it, you know, or direct people your way. So just I can suggest you do that. Just tag me. I'll see it. Um, the original Polly says Publix and Winco are both worker-owned grocery stores. I go to Publix. I don't know. I think they have. I think they have shares within the company, but I don't know if Publix is truly worker-owned because I don't know if they're truly democratized. I don't know. I mean, Publix is one of the cleaner stores here, and it's one of the nicer stores here. Um, I don't know if they're, you know, because they still have a owner and CEO and somebody who inherits the company. I know this because I think the heir to Publix, I think she was a Trump supporter. A story came out about that. So it's like if you have an heir to the company like that, it doesn't feel like a co-op. It feels almost as if they're kind of virtue signaling and saying, well, you own some shares to the company, but who owns the majority of the shares? And how is that grocery chain operated? You know what I mean? Like how much of a voice do employees actually have at Publix? I've never worked there. I have a family member that used to work for them, but it's just to me it looks like just a regular old corporation to me. I don't know because I'm in Florida and I see and there's a Publix a block away, and I've been to Publix quite a few times. Says got to be on the lookout for capitalist co-op washing. Yeah, we have to be we have to be on the lookout for that. Very well said. Where Bill Bradley says Bill Burr started All Things Comedy, which is run as a co-op. Ocean Spray is also run as a co-op, I believe. Yeah, that was in the list that I said. I did not know that about Bill Burr, but if that's the case, then cool. Plus, most unions are under corporate capture. This is one of the reasons why I said unions are a step in the right direction, but I'd rather the workers actually own the establishment, because then there's no corporation to capture because they own it. But thank you so much, Craig. I appreciate that. JM says, JB, my chocolate almond milk is co-op daddy. Are you calling me daddy? Call me again. I'm just kidding. Nope, I'm not getting in trouble. I'm not doing it. JM, don't you get me in trouble. I'm keeping my mouth shut. You want workers to be the capital. And I guess you can put it that way. I mean, I want them to be the owners, because you literally put in your labor, your blood, sweat, and tears into that business. Why not own it yourself? Whoever wrote that article confused conglomerates with co-ops, not even close. Might be right. That's why I have my doubts. John Cothran the Great says there's an organization in the North U.S. will guide you through the whole process of being a cooperative. Oh, thank you so much. Hey, John Cothran, would you happen to have a link to that? You can share it here. Mad Scientist Mike says co-ops are great for small farmers to get into the game. They allow them to have easy place to sell their products, but there's still some sort of workplace class struggle on these farms too. That's a good, interesting point. Thank you so much for that, Mad Scientist Mike. This is why I love these chats, because you guys are full of a wealth of information. I can't remember if I'm a co-owner or a member of or what of the local food co-op. It used to have more work sharing to it, but moved to paid positions. Okay. The organization even has collective funds to help people get started. Oh, that's nice. Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Word Program says sign up to the RBN Substack to increase the odds of being notified in the case of notifications don't work. Yeah, sign up to RBN Substack. If you get a heads up via email, Reality Revolution. Oh, okay, yeah. Good to see a Reality Revolution, by the way, in the chat. So Gado says, in the spirit of Salieri Wiccans, all of you that grab community garden plot where you live, please take video selfies and we can be an online posse of food growing. I like that. I like that. All right. Yeah, Dr. Richard Wolff, he's also a really good resource. He's a Marxist economist and a professor. Yeah, good resource to talk about worker co-ops. Start a worker co-op by starting your own business. Get a free EIN number. Let me see. Then try to find people like Rome who aren't afraid to start a communist business entity from scratch. Thank you very much for that. Okay. Mad Scientist Meisters, there are Facebook groups around the subject. Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah, cool. Look, I wish Publix was what we thought it was in that regard. Because I mean, their stores are usually very nice, very well supplied and things like that. Like I mean, look, as far as, going there and shopping, it's pretty nice, not gonna lie. But I wish they were more like what I thought think a co-op is. than what they really are. So, oh, this is a good suggestion. Buy coffee from farmers cooperatives. That's also a really good suggestion. If you know of a cooperative that makes coffee, then that too. But look, the coffee has to be good, because I know some coffee connoisseurs that if the coffee ain't good, they ain't buying. So make sure you partake of it first, and then if it's really good to you, then let people do that too. I don't drink coffee, but I know plenty of people who do. My mom and my boyfriend, they drink coffee. They love coffee. You say you stand by Winco. What in the hell is Winco? I've heard that before. I'm in Florida, so I don't know. What the hell is Win? Let me see. Winco. Type it in, JB. Winco. Oh, that's a supermarket? Hey, oh, whoa, 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 whoa. It says Winco is a privately held, majority employee owned American supermarket chain based in Boise, Idaho, with retail stores in Arizona, California, Idaho, Montana, Nevada, Oklahoma, Oregon, Texas, Utah, and Washington, and was founded in '67 as a no frills warehouse style store with low prices. Hmm. Okay. I mean, they have 135 locations. Look, if Winco is really legit, then shoot, they need to build one down here in Orlando. That's for damn sure. Start getting my stuff there. Yes, I am Lux. See, unions actually help create a co-op out of the business. Yo, okay, hang on. Maybe it's just wishful thinking here, but stay with me. What if so many unions pop up under Amazon to the point where they literally buy Amazon out from under Jeff Bezos? And then Amazon becomes worker owned, like really worker owned. Holy shit, that would be great. Like, think about it. Think about if Amazon was completely worker owned. Bruh. Bruh. Oh, that would be glorious. I would love it. That'd be awesome. Thank you so much. Okay. Oh, okay. Andrew Dyer says there's a co-op bar near me. Hey, or if look, um, Andrew. All right. If you are uh if you're comfortable, I should say, would you be opposed to giving the name of the bar in the city that's in, and hell, tag me if you like on Twitter and say this is a co-op bar, and look, we can spread the message. People who are in nearby towns or people who may be in that town, because look, I believe in spreading and encouraging worker owned businesses. I'm a socialist. I believe workers owning the means of production. And if workers at a place own the means of production, I want that business to be profitable, not in the capitalistic sense, but I want them to succeed, right? And because I want people to get used to seeing workers owning their establishment where they work at, so that it becomes more normalized and it's almost like a duh, you know what I mean? That's what I want to see. So if you're comfortable with spreading that message of like, this is this bar that is close to me, it's a co-op, it's owned by the workers, then please let us know what it is, the town that it's at. If you can get the address, then shoot. If y'all know a few people who are nearby, have a night out. Have a night out and go and spend some money at that bar. Baby, baby, do it. I'm telling you. Creative Experiment says, I think we get lost in the fight for socialism, but forget about seizing the means of production, meaning running the business. Yes, exactly. That's what it is. It's important to know how business work. You have to run it after you seize it. Of course, and I completely agree. Um, but here's the thing: when you know how it works from being the lowest worker on the rung, and if you know how it works being a supervisor, and then you know about the management side, then it's kind of like everything else kind of can fall into place, right? Now, I'm saying this as somebody who's never owned a business, right? But I'm saying if you already know how things work efficiently at the business, you can learn how, the business end works on different things and how they operate because you already have, the daily operations down, you know? And if you can, own it along with people who work in the operations, they can continue doing it, and they can teach you guys how to do it too. Winco, you have to bag your own items. I don't care about that. Shoot, there's a Save a Lot right over there. Right down the street from me, there's a Save a Lot as well as an Aldi. You have to do it there. Not much different. Really? Winco has a book with all employee pay in every break room? What? Okay. All right. Let me find out. Let me find out. It's pretty cool. Let me see. JB, perhaps Revolutionary Blackout team can create a series of videos with guests that can answer all these great questions and motivate us. I mean, that'd be cool. I wouldn't mind having that done. We can talk about different worker co-ops, uh, and building these type of systems. Okay. Thanks, Andrew. I appreciate it. I see you. All right. I don't have much time left, but that's why Chris Smalls is such an effective unionizer. He knew the inner workings of Amazon as a manager. Yeah, yeah. I hear you. Definitely. Yeah. I would just love to see more worker owned companies. I need to look those up in Orlando. Uh More worker owned companies because if there's some worker owned companies that I can come to, like I don't know, grocery store, hell, I'd go to a worker owned bar. I'd go up there, wear my mask. Shit, give me a Long Island iced tea. Well, if I can afford it. I can't even afford an iced tea. Not even a Long Island one. I'm so damn poor. But that's neither here nor there. All right. Um, Bill Bradley says the inner workings of Amazon is that in quarter 4, Prime took in a $1.8 billion loss, and the only reason Amazon as a whole was profitable was Amazon Web Services. Ooh, wow. Yeah, I can't. I can't. I can't afford Prime, and I really don't want Prime anyway because I'm trying not to put any money in into Jeff Bezos' pocket because he already got enough of my money. And by enough of my money is, evading taxes and all that. He has the public money, so yeah, I don't want to give it to him. All right. Okay. Ooh, ooh. Oh, Andrew, I like this. Okay. All right. 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 Okay. Okay. All right. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Okay. This is getting me excited. I'm getting excited. I got you, Andrew. I'm about to share it. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. JB, get it together. Get it together, JB. Okay. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on. All right. This is Democracy Brewing. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Oh, it's a restaurant too. Hey, how you doing? Oh, I see you. I see. Oh, I see you. I see you. Oh, let me find out. No way. What? Hold up. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Democracy Brewing? Wait. Hold up. They brew their own. They got it. Oh, look at that. That looks. All right. All right. Okay. So hours of operation. Sunday and Monday they close. So they don't do Mondays, baby. Tuesday, Wednesday from 12 to 9, Thursday and Saturday from 12 to 10. Let me see. Okay, so let's take a reader here. It says, "We are Democracy Brewing, a worker owned brewery and pub committed to making great beers and supporting our community. We opened our doors at 35 Temple Place on July 4th, Independence Day in 2018. Our mission is to recreate the traditional public houses, brew the best beer in Boston." Do you hear that? In Boston. Quaker Socialist and Savvy. Hold on, wait a minute. Okay. Y'all need to go over there and take a selfie over there. Pair it with tasty food and serve it to you in a combination with two great American ideals: democracy and owning your own business. Democracy Brewing is a meeting place with the atmosphere and camaraderie of your local neighborhood pub mixed with old world beer hall. Our tasting room has a full scratch kitchen and an event place to host community events, organizational fundraisers, cultural events, live music, and much more. We offer takeaway 32-ounce crawlers with distribute kegs. So keep an eye out for us at your favorite bar or restaurant. We believe in the dream of owning your own business and should be attainable to everyone. And the majority of folks who work should be able to enjoy the profit and pride that comes with ownership. Let me find out. Why aren't y'all in Orlando? What? Now I'm mad. Now JB is mad. Now JB is mad because they're not in Orlando. Sabby, you said you've been there? Okay, okay. Hey Sabs, is there any possible way that you can get in contact with them and maybe do maybe not necessarily a stream, but maybe you can talk to the people there, maybe some reps from there, and talk to the workers? I'm just asking. Oh, you hosted a meetup there too? Oh, Sabby, you are based as hell, girl. Oh, No wonder why we're friends. Look, and here's the crazy part. Here's the thing that you guys don't know about me. I do not like beer, but I am willing to buy one just to go there. I will support the hell out of places like that. And trust me, as somebody who went to culinary school, that food looked damn good. I that food looked good. Don't let me find out. Thank you so much, Andrew. Yo, clap it up for Andrew in the chat. Thank you. Coming in with the assist. Okay, all right. Look, this is making me look. I'm hungry now. This is making me excited. Yeah, Sabs. Reach out to them. Reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place. If you can, reach out and touch somebody's hand. Oh, let's go. All right. Look, if you guys are in the Boston area, shoot. Even if you're not in the Boston area, if you can go by there and support that local business, and if they can grow and look, don't let them grow and come down here. I'm gonna be in their face all the time. But this is what I meant. This is what I mean. You know, if you know about worker co-ops, worker-owned businesses, you know, let JB know, baby. Let me know and let me retweet it. Let people know. Let's put it out there into the ether. You know, like even if you don't drink, just go there for the food. Get you a ginger ale and just get you a salad. Get you a burger, something. You know. Yeah, Bill. Yes. Interviewing them about the process of starting and running a successful co-op would be useful information for the channel. Yes, it would be. Because from whatever I read, it started out in 2018. That's not that far. That's not that long ago. So yeah, thank you, and thanks to Savvy Stabs for saying. Yeah. So this shoot, you don't think I'm not going to share this on Facebook? Shoot, I'm keeping this tab open, baby. That food look good. And here's the funny thing. When you own a piece of that business, you are literally being an entrepreneur. You know how a lot of people are like, oh, we need more entrepreneurs. Worker co-ops you're literally becoming an entrepreneur because you're literally, just because you don't put exactly capital into it, you putting your efforts, your labor into it, you're still investing, which means that you're still an entrepreneur and you still work with them. So look, I honestly do think that people, you don't have to have all the business on yourself. You can have that spread out and democratized among you and your coworkers, and you all own it together. And you can still make, good money while still providing a good product or service. And it's all democratized, baby. And that's what I love to see. Yes, that is a good point too. Look, they're still open after COVID. Bars and restaurants, they were closing like crazy. I think about 40% of bars and restaurants shut down permanently during COVID. And they managed to survive. Thank goodness. So, all right. So, I don't want to go too far. I'm already 7 minutes outside of the time I'm supposed to be on. But yeah, so if you guys know of any others, let a brother know. All right, tag me, and I will share their information. Um, so that we can expand. And from what Andrew told me, is that they're socialist friendly, right up my alley. So man, let me get a ticket to Boston. Look, I'll sleep on the floor in Sabby Sab's living room. I don't care. Sabby, can I sleep on the floor in your living room? It's okay. I'm house trained. Oh Lord. Let me find out. Let me go to that bar. Oh my goodness. All right. So just to review, make sure to continue to keep talking about the countries that are going through a lot of atrocities right now, not just the one that starts with the U that rhymes with propane. You know, talk about these other countries like Yemen, Somalia, Ethiopia, Syria, the people in Palestine. Um, make sure you guys, continue to keep up those stories because people need to know about what's going on around the world in these other countries and what the United States is doing in your name. We need to call this out. Number one. Number two, what happened with Patrick Leona, uh, you know, uh, continue to spread the message of 10 demands and let people know that we can have better public safety. And by having better public safety, it is also making sure that people are, don't have to suffer from housing insecurity. That's what better public safety means. Better public safety also means everyone having a good quality education from K to 16. I also include graduate school in there too, because I honestly think that graduate school, including that, should be publicly funded. Call me crazy, but I believe that everyone has a right to education. Okay. Also, everyone should have adequate, healthy food to be able to eat. That is also part of adequate public safety. Everyone should have health care. Full stop. That is adequate public safety. Okay. People should have these things. Okay. Uh, they should have, you know, a living wage or a living income for those of us who may be disabled or elderly, because that also contributes to adequate public safety. All right. And if you mix all those together, then the necessity for these people we call police goes way down. And then people are able, and then you can divest from police and dump it into communities. And then we can learn how to truly conduct true public safety within our own neighborhoods. So that's one thing to bring up when you bring up about Patrick Leola. Bring that up as well. Okay. And then if you know of worker co-ops, especially, then advertise them. And I'm talking about real worker co-ops. I'm not talking about the fake ass co-ops that they try to make it seem like, oh, well, we democratize when you really didn't democratize. No, the real true worker co-ops, make sure to advertise those. And if you can, go to those once in a while. Like if you got a paycheck, you got a couple extra bucks in your pocket, make sure to go to those and invite your friends. Invite your friends to go there. Invite your neighbors to go there, you know, um, and do that. If you can go work for a worker co-op, then hey, baby, go ahead and get yours. So just do that. And so with that, I want to thank all y'all for basically joining me on the stream. It was so lovely to have every single one of you. If you guys are new to the channel, if you haven't subscribed yet, why? Why? Don't you like me? I thought I was cool. Please subscribe. And also, if you like this stream, then please make sure to click that like button. Also, do you know of any worker co-ops in your area? Put it in the comments below. Let me know what the worker co-ops in your area, or share the stream. If you want to post that question out to other people who may know of worker co-ops in the area too. You know, let people know. You know, and well, water your plants, water yourselves. Make sure to leave the world better than you found it, of course. Um, you know, if you know any dispensary co-ops, I'm just saying, go there and smoke them if you got them. Yeah. Forehead kisses. I love you. Mwah. Check the flavor of the rhythm I wrote. And when I get a chance, said, let me clear my throat.